Let's get started. Hello, everyone. And it's so great to see faces and to see you all. I wish we were in person. Welcome to the Northern Plains 50th annual meeting. My name is Jeanie Alderson, and I'm joining you tonight from Boerne, Montana. And I'm hearing an echo. Let's see. Well, I'm your chair for a little while longer anyway. And I'm just so proud to be the second generation of my family to be working with this amazing organization. I'm going to start with our land acknowledgement. And I would like to recognize and acknowledge the past Northern Plains tribes of this Yellowstone River Valley and the current tribes of Montana, the Assiniboine, Blackfeet, Northern Cheyenne, Crow, Chippewa Cree, Gros Ventre, Kootenai, Little Shell Chippewa, Pend Oreille, Salish, and the Sioux tribes. We acknowledge them, their strength, their resiliency, and relationship to this land. Wow, it's really wonderful to see everyone, or almost everyone on our screen. And I welcome you to our 50th annual meeting. I'm going to do a short tech orientation so that everyone can enjoy it. We were doing a little bit of that as we got started, but all our Zoom links will give you access to each session throughout the meeting. You can access those in your email, as well as always at the Northern Plains website. And we're going to ask everyone to stay on mute throughout the meeting. You can make sure that it's set up by making sure the little microphone icon has a red slash through it. Staff will help you unmute as well. So during our sessions, we ask folks to speak up. You can unmute, those are some where you got speak up and there's some questioning. You unmute by clicking on the microphone icon and the red slash will disappear. We have closed captioning for those sessions, for all sessions at the annual meeting. And if you can enable that by clicking the live transcript button along the menu bar. If you don't see that, see if there's a more button, which will look like 3 little dots. And so you should be able to access it there. Click on show subtitle to allow the subtitles to come up. To turn them off, click on live transcript again and hide subtitles. We have a tech support hotline. If you just get frustrated or you are having troubles with Zoom in any way, please call our email, Ty. His email, and I think it's going to be up in the chat, is techtech@northernplains.org, or you can call 406-248-1154. And so that information should be in the chat. Now, the silent auction has moved online and it has such a great variety of items. And it's such a great chance to sort of shop local and do holiday shopping, and it raises funds for all of Northern Plains' work. It's actually one of our bigger fundraisers that we do. And while we miss being together, meandering around, looking at items, it's online and there's some great ones. The auction is live now and it will close tomorrow night at 6 p.m. And there's going to be a link to the auction, I think, hopefully in the chat too. Now we have some great sponsors, generous sponsors. We want to extend a big thank you to our sponsors across Montana for supporting our biggest event of the year. These local businesses put their community values to work, both with their own practices and with helping organizations like ours. So check out our sponsor info on our website and on the sponsor page of our packet. So our sponsors are Matthew Moog, MD, LLC. We've got Onsite Energy, High Plains Architects, Agri Organics, Sundance Solar Systems, First Federal Bank and Trust, Diamond X Beer, Yellowstone Group at Morgan Stanley, Yellowstone Naturopathic Clinic, Omega Beef, and the Yellowstone Valley Food Hub. So I encourage you to go to the annual meeting page of our website and connect with these great sponsors for advice from solar installation to sourcing local food and compost and banking and more. Let's give them a big thank you, and they help make this meeting possible. So yeah, woohoo. So our meeting, our theme for our meeting is Cheers to 50 years. And I was about 5 or 6 years old when this organization got started, so that tells you how old I am now. And I know that we are all sad to be not to be gathering in person again this year. But still, I'm so very grateful for each of you here this evening, and I'm so excited about the gathering we have planned. It's hard to find the right words to fully express how incredibly proud I am of Northern Plains and all of you who have built this organization over the last 50 years. It's such an honor to be your chair, especially at this momentous anniversary. This meeting wraps up my term as chair, and it also marks the beginning for our new executive director, Maggie Gordon. I'm so proud of Maggie and our incredible staff team and our Northern Plains Board of Directors and all of you who have led us to where we are today. As a team, we have navigated some huge transitions, some heartbreaking losses, big challenges, and also some amazing gifts and opportunities. For all of us, this year has continued to demand a lot of thinking outside the box. We've also been called to dig deep into our history and our roots to find solutions and ideas and inspiration. And I'm so proud of our work, the work of the History Task Force. You, our members and leaders and staff, have all shown up for our work and our issues. This year, you have shown up for your neighbors and your organization in really vital ways. And I'm in awe and so very grateful that we are still giving so much and working so hard, given the times. When given the times, the temptation would be to give up. We are in the second year of the COVID pandemic raging on. This summer's devastating and widespread drought, wildfires really bring the reality of climate change to our homes and our businesses. The attacks on our state and nation's democracies, injustice close to home and across the globe, the everyday struggle to keep our lands and communities healthy and viable, all make it hard to stay engaged and hopeful. I am sure I'm not alone in feeling a constant measure of alarm, frustration, and some outright fear for what's ahead. And so it stands to reason that some of our leaders and folks across the country are wrestling with some pessimism. And we have to be real about where we are, kind of like ranchers in the drought we're in. We can hope and pray for rain, and we do, but that won't feed our cattle this winter or ensure they have a place to go in the spring or a market that will allow us to pay our bills. We have to make hard choices and adapt. We have to keep working to make a difference. So yes, as our wise former staff director, Teresa Erickson, she's very right when she says hope is not a strategy. Wishful thinking and positive thinking alone do not make change. So what does? I've been thinking about this. What keeps us going? I've come to see a couple things that to me define Northern Plains and tell the story of our success and longevity. These are our deep affection and another kind of hope, radical hope. We love our places and we care deeply about each other. We have understood since our very beginnings that we have to reach out and work together and to look out for each other. My mom, Carolyn Walker, told me about how terrifying it was when they learned of all the plans of turning our land and water into a vast energy corridor, a sacrifice area. At that time, she saw letters in the paper about what coal mining was doing to ranchers in the Bull Mountains. And she reached out to our friends who had moved to the Bull Mountains, the Tullys. And she reached out to our neighbors here, gathering in our living room. 50 years of caring deeply, turning to each other, reaching out and stepping up with radical hope to insist that our land and its peoples deserve better. You know, and Wendell Berry talks about in an essay, he said, it all turns on affection. So it might sound corny, but it is about this love. And as our chair from 30 years ago, Paul Hawks, said, we all love this place we call Montana. We believe that the land and water and air are not ours to despoil, but ours to steward for future generations. Someone is going to use this place after we're gone, and we must sustain the resources that will sustain them. In the early days, we used to say we believed in looking beyond our own fence lines. We still do. And this affection calls us to radical hope. The places we love and the amazing community we are hold us together and give us a sense of agency and push us to act, and yes, hope. So what is radical hope? So in preparation for hearing our speaker tonight, Katharine Hayhoe, I listened to an interview with her on a radio show on Being. The interview and show host, Krista Tippett, used the term radical hope. Krista said, radical hope is a muscular hope, not optimism or wishful thinking, but about insisting we can be agents of change, that what is doesn't have to be. It's about throwing your body and your life behind that, which I think precisely describes what Northern Plains has done for 50 years. So what are some examples of radical hope in the face of there's no way? Of course, it all started with the North Central Power Study that outlined all this development. No way could a small group of ranchers have any effect on those plans that were set out for us to turn us into a sacrifice zone. The National Strip Mine Reclamation and Control Act, it took radical hope. It took 4 years, it was vetoed, it was changed. Our founders were told there's no way to get a national bill because every region has such different needs and all the interests in coal country are so divided. Well, they did get that bill passed, and we got some vital policies from that national legislation, like surface owner consent, no strip mining on the Custer National Forest, and other valuable pieces. Another issue I think of, livestock market reform and concentration of power and money in the beef industry is as bad or worse as it's been 100 years. I always hear, well, there's no way to change it. That's just how it is. Well, we are looking again at a real possibility of mandatory country of origin labeling bills. We're looking at some livestock market reform bills, and there's growing awareness across the country of our need for meaningful action to reform our food system. More people are starting to realize they have a stake in this fight that sometimes just seems just for a few of us. Looking at the coal ash pond cleanup and coal strip, you'll never get a company to fully clean up those leaking ash ponds. Well, we have a lot of work to do and we have faced some setbacks, but still full cleanup is the order. I think of CPACE, being told you'll never get good clean energy legislation through this very regressive Montana legislature. Well, it passed this year. Just recently, a week and a half, couple weeks ago, I had the great opportunity and experience of testifying before the U.S. House Committee on Natural Resources and a subcommittee on energy and mineral resources from my office, like right here tonight, home. This opportunity, this ability to testify in front of Congress felt like Northern Plains' love and radical hope in action. I was prepared thanks to our task force and our amazing staff at Northern Plains and the Western Organization of Resource Councils. And I had the opportunity to speak to issues on our national coal program that are not being addressed and that are so vital, not to just those of us in coal country, but across the nation and really the planet. I was honored and proud that Northern Plains was asked at this table. And I was proud of our history and work. And I was proud to represent my ranch, my community, and our organization. And leaders and members do this all the time. This is Northern Plains. Our affection for this land and for each other, our deep understanding that we have to bridge what divides and look beyond our own fences, and our insistence that what is doesn't have to be, and our willingness over and over again to put our lives into this work. This is Northern Plains. And really, I think our friend Wally McRae said it very best. I read this last year, but I got to do it again this year. Things of Intrinsic Worth by Wallace McRae. Remember the sand rock on Emel's Creek where Dad carved his name in 13? It's been blasted down into rubble and interred by their dragline machine. Where the Faddles lived in the old Miller place, where us kids stole melons at night, they dozed it up in a funeral pyre. They torched it. It's gone, all right. The sea on the hill and the water tanks are now classified reclaimed land. They're thinking of building a golf course. out there, so I understand, the old Egan Homestead's mash pond. They say that it's 80 feet deep. The branding corral at the Douglas camp, it's underneath a spoil heap. And across the creek is a tipple now, where they load coal onto a train. The May West Rock on Hay Coulee, just black and white snapshots remain. There's a railroad loop and a coal storage shed where the bison kill site used to be. The Guy place is gone. Ambrose is too. Beulah Farley's a ranch refugee. But things are booming. We've got this new school that's envied across the whole state. When folks up and ask, how's it going down there? I grin like a fool and say, great. Great God, how we're doing. We're rolling in dough as they tear and they ravage the earth. And nobody knows and nobody cares about things of intrinsic worth. Well, thank you all for caring about Montana, about these things of intrinsic worth. And welcome and enjoy this great gathering.